Let's take a quick trip down memory lane, shall we?
This week is Anti-Poverty Week, and these are the facts.
3 million, or more than 1 in 10 Australians, live below the poverty line.
Fact.
4 years later and nothing much seems to have changed.
739,000, or 1 in 6 Australian children live in poverty.
Fact.
Again, 4 years later and nothing much seems to have changed.
Those on New Start and Youth Allowance are experiencing poverty at the highest rate.
Fact.
You don't need a degree in picklenomics to understand why this is still true 4 years later, and will likely continue to be true for years to come. For a single adult in Australia, the poverty line is $489 per week. For a single adult, the current weekly Jobseeker payment is $346.55. If you're on Jobseeker, you're below the poverty line. It's really that simple. In the first quarter of 2023, the median rent for a one-bedroom flat in Melbourne was $415 per week.
So to recap.
So for a single adult on Jobseeker, not only are you below the poverty line, you're also going to find it very difficult to keep a roof over your head, unless you can rely on the kindness of friends and family. This is all without factoring in food, utilities and all the other basic necessities to survive.
It doesn't add up.
As many as 1 in 5 Australians have experienced food insecurity in the last year alone.
Fact.
4 years later and nothing much seems to have changed. If anything, it's worse, with the 2022 Food Bank Hunger Research Report finding that 33% of households felt food insecurity.
Poverty directly affects over 1 in 10 Australians, but actually it affects all of us.
When a child goes hungry or without a roof over their head, they can't do their homework, complete their education and reach their full potential.
When a person cannot afford clothes for a job interview or transport costs to get there, well, of course, they can't re-enter the workforce or contribute to the economy.
Yep.
When people have to skip medication or meals, they can't participate fully in our society.
When people can't afford the basics and the essentials, our local businesses have less to spend on wages and jobs.
All Australians, whether they live above or below the poverty line, will in some form or another feel the effects.
They feel it in their stagnant wages and their lack of job security.
Fact.
If CPI is sitting on 7% and wages are only increasing by 3.7%, then in real terms, wages are no longer stagnant, they're going backwards.
This vicious cycle will continue unless we as a country decide to do something about it.
Very true.
We can break the cycle of poverty and boost the economy.
It's plain for everybody to see that New Start must increase.
It's time to listen to the evidence. It's time to do the right thing.
It is time for the Prime Minister to increase the rate of a New Start.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Could you live on $40 a day?
No, I couldn't.
I don't think I could live on $40 a day.
Fact.
$40 in 2019 is the equivalent of approximately $47 today. The current rate of Jobseeker is $49.50 per day. If you couldn't live on $40 a day in 2019, you're not going to find it any easier living on $49.50 per day in 2023.
I don't believe anyone in this house could imagine living on $40 a day.
If as a party you spend years in opposition making a song and dance about raising the rate, only to do nothing when you find yourself in government, well, there's a word for that.
Hypocrisy!
Let's make this very simple. If the price of everything goes up at a higher rate than Jobseeker, or your wage, where does that leave you?
Left behind and held back.